Thank you for listening to the Golden Hour Drip podcast with me, Logan Lee Miller. Enjoy the show. You have got to be so cautious when it comes to shopping or traveling during the holiday season. Garrett and I just went shopping this past weekend, and as we were driving, the traffic was insane. We got some rainfall, like it was spritzing a little bit. It was definitely chilly. Like think of the new moon the Twilight series. It was exactly the same ambiance as that. Blue skies, blue tone everything, the rain just trickling down the entire time. People were horrible drivers. Oh my gosh, I was so glad that I was riding in the passenger and Garrett, was driving, because I don't think that I could do it. I will say my contacts are way overdue their prescription. I keep saying subscription, so I'm really proud of myself for saying prescription. But my contacts, it's been over a year since I've had my eyes checked. Usually I try to schedule all my doctors and appointments in the first of the year, into the year, because it's a routine. It's like, okay, after the holidays, come January, we are working and making sure that our health is top notch, that our eyes are done, that we are prepared for the new year. I love a new year. I love all those things. So my appointment was set for December 6th. And we just found out with both of our job switches this year that our new insurance is no longer covered, or it won't cover the eye care specialists or whatever. They don't accept our insurance anymore. So Garrett and I have had to book a new appointment with a different doctor, and Garrett got in quick. I called like a couple days later, and since everyone has the same plan of use your insurance before it runs out, or try and prepare your new year and get all your physicals done, I could not get in, and I can't get in until like next week, okay? Like after the holidays, after Christmas. So my eyes are going on almost 2 months with the same one contact. So actually, yes. So when I visited my mom and stepdad in Iowa for Thanksgiving, I completely obliterated one of my contacts. I could not find it. It was my left eye. My right eye was still in the contact case, and that was fine. But I got a temporary one from my eye clinic, and when I put it in, one was new. The other one is old. So now I'm like, okay, what the heck? Like, one eye is going on 2 months, and I cannot get into the doctor until after Christmas. So my eyes are already like completely, like I'm wearing contacts for the aesthetic at the moment. Like I really and truly should be wearing my glasses for the last couple of weeks, but I've had so much going on with Vlogmas. I don't want to wear glasses during Vlogmas. I love contacts. Ever since I got contacts, I'm like, why would I ever wear glasses? Like they sit on my nose, they put prints in there. I'm always worried about my skincare as well. And I feel like my glasses hold so much bacteria. Even if I clean them all the time, the nose bridge and the side, I feel like I'm always getting like 1 or 2 pimples on the corner of my eye from the eyeglasses. So I'm like, no, like if I can prevent from wearing the glasses, like I'm gonna do that. I will say it's not good to wear your contacts more than a month. And I am trying to use my saline solution and just like make sure that they're extra clean before I'm putting them into my eye. I cannot wait until the eye doctor. But as we were driving to town to do some, Christmas shopping, Garrett is driving. People are rambunctious crazy. Everyone's like driving way faster than normal. Like Garrett was driving the speed limit and it's like spotty rain. People were driving over the speed limit. It was definitely like the manic, crazy Christmas panic that everyone is just running around trying to find gifts, trying to get their shopping done. I understand it. Personally, I am a last minute shopper. I love last minute shopping. It is so fun. I don't like holding on to gifts in the house because I just want to like give them immediately. So if I can go shopping like a week before, I will do it. That's what we did. We went shopping this past weekend and people were just crazy drivers. And I was like, okay, like, glad Garrett took the reins on this, glad I don't have to do it, because people were crazy. And not only that, so we safely make our way to, you know, the various stores that we need to go to. And I will say Target was not bad. Usually Target has the worst lines. The Target lane it wasn't as long as I was expecting, to be honest, for how many people were in the parking lot. So we decided to hit up Target, we hit up Home Goods, we hit up Ulta. I did a little Ulta haul on my Vlogmas yesterday. This is posted Monday, so I posted it on Sunday if you want to go watch my little Ulta haul. But we stopped at all the stores. The last store that we wanted to stop at was PetSmart. We have two wonderful, crazy dogs, and they deserve Christmas gifts just like Garrett and I. I love being a dual income household with no kids. One day we will have children, and at that time our excessive income will go into the children's, needs. But at the time being, we have so much disposable income that we can use for our dogs or ourselves, whatever. So we're gonna go into PetSmart. They need new collars. They need, a couple treats. I've already gotten them their Christmas toys, and we were just moseying around. We were like, it's there, let's stop in. So I personally, when I'm with my husband, I don't have to focus that much. I can handle our household. I can handle our calendar. I can handle all of those things, and I am ready to be the brain for those. Like, questions about those things, I got it. I can handle it. Grocery shopping, the household, our calendar, you name it. I'm there. What I'm not in charge of is directions. Right? Like, if we need to go somewhere, Garrett better be punching that into his phone before we get there, because that's not my job. I'm not very good at that. And basically my brain shuts off when I'm with my husband, because I feel protected. Like, there's no need for me to worry about anything, because the only person I need to be worried about is Garrett, and he is right there. So there's nothing to be worried about. And so we're walking across the parking lot, and we're in the crosswalk. Of course, like, I've looked up, we're walking, I'm with Garrett, okay? I am safe, he is paying attention. And my dad texted me, it was his birthday, and I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna text him about our plans for our family gathering, and I'm just like trying to finish up. And as we're walking, there is this car speeding through. The speed limit for like around the shopping malls is supposed to be like 10. This woman was going at least 25, 28, no lie. Little old lady driving her vehicle. We're in the crosswalk. It wasn't like we had started in the crosswalk. Like, we were already in the crosswalk about halfway. Garrett literally, we were standing side by side, had to yank me back before this woman literally hit us with her car. I was like, oh, like, I was paying attention. I was aware, but not that aware, because again, I'm with my husband. He saved my life. He's done it before. Like, there's been several instances where Garrett has had to jerk me up and protect me from whatever is oncoming. Okay. One time it was a pig. This time it was a little old lady driving her vehicle. Okay. It happens. I don't know. And Garrett like yanks me back, and he's like, oh my gosh. And this woman screeches to a stop halfway through the crosswalk. And I was like, oh my gosh. And you know what she does? She goes, sorry, you could have killed me. You could have literally like hit me with your vehicle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, thanks for being there. And as we're walking into the store, I kid you not, we're listening, like, we're going into the doors, and we hear a commotion of vehicles, like screeching and a little bit of honking, like someone almost got in an accident. And guarantee you it was that woman going crazy. Like, it was way too busy to be driving that rambunctious. Like, that was crazy. That was definitely, I would say that would have to be my pit of the week, almost getting ran over by a woman. Like, that was, honestly, I'm so glad that Garrett was there, because and I don't even want to say if he wasn't there, like, I would have gotten ran over, because essentially I pay attention when I'm by myself. Like, I just have that worry of, okay, I'm a female, I'm young, I'm alone, like, I need to pay attention. So whenever I'm by myself, like, I'm always paying attention. It's nothing like that. But I was thankful that he was there, right? Like, saved my life. Are you grateful? Absolutely. I was so grateful. But our Christmas shopping went so well. We picked up a couple things, and we have our list complete. It is complete. We are good. We are ready for the holidays. And honestly, I need it because this past week has been absolutely rambunctious. I'm finishing up on Vlogmas. There's some new books that I got that I'm trying to read. The holidays are always crazy. Work is always crazy. Everything is always psychotic crazy during the holidays. I love it, but also I can hate it. And I was watching the Kardashians, and there's so much alignment with a couple things, and we'll get into that. But I was watching the Kardashians, and Chris says, when the devil can't get you bad, he'll get you busy. And so I have just like been holding that in my brain and thinking, oh my gosh, like, am I being too busy? Like, am I not enjoying what is around me? Like, am I not being grateful for the things that I have because I'm just like running? This past weekend, I hosted my Lee family over at my house, and I was a little rambunctious this day. We had a family gathering at Garrett's aunt's that morning. I had not done my job at the calendar very well, and I mixed up the days, and I didn't realize that we booked them for the same day. So they were so gracious, let us go that morning. And then we got home at like 1:30 to do all the picking up for everyone to like come to our home. And because I had gotten there at 1:30 and our, supper started at 2, our lunch or whatever, our gathering, we didn't eat until like probably 3:30, but I felt such a need to kind of like hustle and bustle and finish those last couple things that needed to be completed as everyone was coming in. And as I'm like rushing around, I'm like, take a pause. You need to hug some people. You need to say, thank you for coming, right? I think a hostess is supposed to greet your guests, but at that moment, like I had too much catching up to do, so I couldn't just like stand by the door and greet guests, which ultimately I would love to do. That's my goal, to greet everyone who comes in. And as I was like rushing around and chopping bananas and chopping some strawberries for the fruit salad, or throwing the rolls in, or making sure the ham was done, I like had to take a second to myself and be like, all right, breathe. We're gonna take a deep breath in. Are we booked and busy? Great. I love being booked and busy, but are we being present? Are we appreciating the people who we've been preparing this stuff for? Are we being with them? Are we smiling at them? Are we being happy with them? Are we hugging them? And I was like, oh my gosh, like with the holiday season, so many people forget to take a breather, to look around, to connect with the people that we love so much and have prepared for, right? And it's not until it's over where we think, oh gosh, like I wish I would have like talked to this one person. I didn't get a chance to catch up with them, or any of the various things that we have pop up in our family gatherings. So I was like, you know what? Holiday season might be busy, but I am going to try my hardest to stay present and to be where my feet are. This was a practice that I had to use so often in 21 and 22. Actually, 2020 and 21. It was like my mantra for the year. It was like, be where your feet are. Do not think about college. Do not think about the future, because college had just ended. And I still am trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. And I just thought, okay, like, don't think about the past, don't think about the future, just be where your feet are or you're gonna miss it. And that was definitely something I had to remind myself of this weekend. Be where your feet are, be present, and love the people around you, because it's gone in a couple hours, right? We prepare for a whole week. We gift shopped and we wrapped the presents, we prepared the food, and then we get 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours, maybe longer if you're lucky. Maybe you're staying the night at one of your family members' houses. Maybe you're doing all those things and you get to spend more time, but then it's over. And then we're going back to our daily lives and we're doing the mundane, and we are not with our loved ones and not with our family members anymore. So I always try to remember that, and remind myself, hey, like, I'm not bad, but I might be busy. And when I'm busy, being busy it's good, but it's also a double-edged sword. You have to be present. You have to be so grateful for all the gifts that have been gifted to you, figuratively and, literally all the gifts. I actually got myself and Garrett a couple of gifts at Salvation Army. So I love secondhand stores so much. I love stopping at the secondhand stores. I love seeing what they have. To me, it's giving a second life to items that might not have, they could have ended up in the landfill, right? And so I don't take like a secondhand store as like lesson, because you can find some really amazing stuff. But what really gets me and the lure for the secondhand shops is a lot of it is not trending right now, right? Like it could have came to a trend, but now it's like no longer in style. And in the past years, a lot of the manufactured goods in your box stores are not made as well. They're cheaper material, they fall apart. I have items that I bought years ago in comparison to the same exact item that I bought today, how they could be so, they're the same, right? Like essentially they're the same. I bought from the same company, but one is falling apart and crumbling, like maybe leggings that I've purchased from a store, or a sweatshirt, how they used to last so long and now they're just crumbling. I feel like items that have been thrifted will hold up longer than items that, you buy at Walmart, you buy at Home Goods. Like I have found so many amazing, beautiful ornaments at the secondhand shop. I got the cutest little plastic angel. She's not glass. She looks like glass. She has gold wings. Amazing. So cute. I got this stained glass like star. It's not like a traditional 5-point star. It's more of like a spiky star with like multiple points on it. Someone welded it. Like it is so delicate and so cute. And I'm like, I could not go and purchase this at Walmart. I could not go and purchase this at Home Goods, at a Target, at a Marshalls, or at Hallmark even, like a higher end ornament store. And so I love going to these secondhand shops and seeing what I can find and seeing if they are, big and beautiful or different or unique. I found a wooden hummingbird. You guys know, I love hummingbirds so much. And every year I plant some flowers in my front window so that I can watch the hummingbirds. It's one of my very favorite pastimes. And it's really hard to find items of hummingbirds that aren't kitschy. It's like, oh, like cute. My great aunt might have this in her house. Like it's not necessarily something that I want. And I found this little, someone had put it on their like little wood lathe, and someone made it. Like it was handmade, because I can tell from the circle, it's not a quite circle. It's not perfect. It's got some wobbles in it. I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no way that I could have found one. Plus Christmas was 50% off at the secondhand store. So ornaments were like $1 up, and if it didn't have a tag on it, it was $1. And since it was 50% off, it was 50 cents. I also picked up some mugs for Garrett. Santa came a little early and got us a new coffee machine. I've been craving like real espresso. We had a Keurig this past year. Lily went off to college, my little sister, and we gifted her our Keurig. We loved our Keurig, but I've been wanting to froth milk and to have more of a latte situation, because that's what I get when I go to town. That's what I get when I was going to work all the time. And I was like, I really want to try my hand at crafting lattes. I want to have a milk frother. I want to pull an espresso shot. I know it's harder than it looks, but TikTok is showing me that there are so many ways to make amazing little drinks, and I love the creative aspect. I made some mocktails this past week, and with my mocktail recipes, I made simple syrup infused with rosemary and thyme, and I just think like some sort of cold foam with those simple syrups would be so good. So I'm going to be experimenting. I'm going to be trying all sorts of things and trying to craft something in my kitchen, but we don't have that many coffee cups. We had a few coffee cups like from college and stuff, but they either broke or, you know, we just left them at my dad's. We didn't take them with us, or even like Garrett left them in his apartment or whatever. Like we didn't hold on to them. And while I was at Salvation Army, I found this clear Mickey. Okay, this one was a gift for myself. I cannot lie to you, okay? When I am Christmas shopping, I am also Christmas shopping for our housemaid and our laundress and our mopper and our duster. And guess who that is? That is Logan Lee Miller, okay? So I like to give myself a little Christmas bonus every year. How can you not? When you go Christmas shopping, you're like, oh, this would be great for me. I've been looking for this. So yes, I shop for myself. But I had the intentions. I was like, okay, we are getting a coffee machine and we need coffee mugs. Garrett has one super, super cute coffee mug that his mother bought him for his birthday. She bought me one as well. I love them. They're hand painted. So, so cute. But Garrett will leave it, and I do this too, with my iced coffee. But we have multiple iced coffee cups. Like, it's just our pint water glass. But Garrett only has one mug, and he will have it full of coffee, and then he'll leave it out, like, in the bathroom, like in our master bathroom, like next to the sink, or he'll leave it by the couch, like on the little side table, and then it crusts over with some coffee and I have to soak it. And then he's like, I don't have a coffee cup. And I'm like, you can't use mine, sorry. So I was like, we need more coffee cups. And I bought 3 vintage coffee cup mugs. They are so, so cute. Their prints are adorable. I absolutely love them. And then what really got me in, so I got him 3 and I got myself 1, and it's a clear glass mug and it has Mickey on it, Mickey Mouse, and it says ho, ho, ho. It is so, so cute, so vintage, and they were either $3 or $2. So I got them half off, so $1.50 or $1. You could not go to Marshall's and get a mug that cheap, or even the Dollar Tree. Like, you could, but it wouldn't have been as cute, right? And the Dollar Tree is $1.25 anyways nowadays. So I love these mugs and I cannot wait. I've wrapped them up. I cannot wait for Garrett to open them and be like, oh, I love them so much. They have Santa Claus. They're all themes. Like, all 4 of the mugs are Christmas, and I have been wanting to get Christmas like, not pots and pans, Christmas, not silver, dishware. Oh my gosh. I've been wanting to get Christmas dishware for so long. Just like themed plates. I'm ready to be setting down roots. I'm ready to make a commitment to my home, because that's something that I've struggled with in the past years, like actually nailing something on the wall. Maybe I'll get really crazy and paint a wall. Maybe I will do that. I don't know. The hallway is looking pretty rough from the dogs running down it and rubbing their body on it. And we have matte walls that just absorb every ounce of like oil, like smudge, dirt, everything. And so I'm like, maybe we paint. Maybe we really just start customizing our home to what we want, instead of always thinking about the future and thinking about the next thing and just like wanting the next thing and being like, okay, like, we can make it ours. So I'm ready to make some commitments, okay? I'm ready to maybe get some custom wear. Maybe, because my mind, and I've been trying to work on this, is I don't want anything to be so recognizable that's like, oh, I've seen that before, right? Like, social media has created such like a consumerism mindset for me. I need a cute sweater every single holiday event. I can't outfit repeat. I can't wear the same jeans, because if they have holes in it, you can tell that's like a certain pair of jeans. If I bring out a certain cup, I don't know, like, in my head, everything has had to be so basic in order to like mask that I've worn it again or I've used it before. And really, I just want to be so like custom. Like I want everything to just be picked by hand in my home. Like our ornaments, like you don't think that about reusing ornaments every year. Like, oh, like I got this, 3 years ago. I love to bring it out anyways. Same with sweatshirts. Like, oh, I bought that last week. I wore it last week and I'm going to wear it this week because I have a washing machine, And so I am ready to make the commitment and buy some dishes that might not be completely basic. Right now we have dishes from my dad bought my mom them when they first started dating before they had me. It's like one of the only things that I have from both of my parents being together, and I use those dishes every single day. I'm ready to add a second set of our dishes. And actually I had Garrett go through all of our mismatched glasses, anything that we have broken a pair to, those plastic ones that people give for free. Oh my gosh, I have made a solemn vow not to pick any or like bring home any of those plastic cups from, and I'm talking about, okay, you go to the fair and they have that like punch lemonade that has like the sugar and it's handmade and it's so amazing, and it costs you $12 because it has the souvenir cup. Okay, those souvenir cups, I literally cannot find a space for them. I hate them and I never use them again. The only time I use them is like if I'm sending Garrett on a trip and he might not come back with them. Like he'll come back, but if it's like a hunting trip somewhere, like it could get damaged, it could get dirty, it could, it could get smashed, like it might not make it. So those are the cups that I send with him. If I send Brody with something, my little brother, I'm like, sure, you can take that, or like anything. I try to get rid of them so much, and I actually have not been taking them. Like if a wedding is handing them out, no thank you. I will take a koozie, but I will not be taking a plastic cup. There's like various things. If I go to a bar and they're like, yeah, you get to keep your glass, I'm like, no thank you, I will not be keeping my glass because I don't want it in my home. So any of those we got rid of. We cleared out our entire cabinet and I'm ready to get some fun glasses. I went to a store the other day and they had like the cutest little frosted martini glasses. Personally, I've been really getting into mocktails. I've always loved mocktails. Like I've made them since I couldn't even drink, right? Like they always say, oh, I love making the little alcoholic drinks. Like I've made them since I could drink. Like I've made mocktails since before I could legally drink, right? Like I was always concocting and making new things in the kitchen that, that we could. I would mix soda and I would throw in a cherry and in the lime and all the things. So I really want to buy these festive cute glasses to make my mocktails, especially if I'm doing any magnesium or cherry juice before bed, like something festive. It doesn't have to be for wine, it doesn't have to be for alcohol. Personally, I've had some, health goals. And so I'm like, all right, like I don't want to add into it. I don't want to drink the alcohol to add in because I have these health goals. I have these goals in general for my life where I'm waking up and I gotta get up. I can't be hungover, any of the things. Personally, if you drink, that's great. I love that for you. My husband drinks. Right now, I'll occasionally have like a glass of wine every couple of months. I'll try it. But I've been really loving the mocktails. And if you are following along with the Vlogmas, I did do a mocktail vlog. I can't remember which one it was, but I made 3 different cocktails and I wanted to serve them at our family gathering. So I was like needing to try and taste and see which one worked better than the other ones. It ended up so good. I love a good ginger. They were so good. Watch the video if you want to learn more about the mocktail stuff. But I was like, we are clearing out our dishes. I'm ready to make the commitment. I'm ready to buy some Christmas dishes. Like there was so many cute little dishes at the Salvation Army. I was like, I want them so bad. And I don't know if like 4 dishes are enough or if I should be getting 6 or 8. I mean, it's just Garrett and I. But what if we have friends over? What if we have family members over? And I'm like, maybe we actually need more glasses than we have. And then I'm like, wait, is that consumerism? I don't know. It's a happy medium and I'm struggling to find it. Hey, Hey, I hope that you're enjoying today's podcast episode. Just a quick interruption to let you know that Golden Hour Drip has a weekly newsletter that comes out. This has bonus content, weekly updates, and future event information. If you haven't already, go down to the show notes, click the link, and join today. Now, back to the show. This past week, I totally embarrassed myself at a KC Cuisine Club event. KC Cuisine Club, man, that is so hard for me to say. I've had to practice. But this cuisine club is hosted by a gal who makes reservations at different Kansas City restaurants and different, events, places, spaces, whatever. So she gets a group of girls together, we share a meal, we bond, we chat. I didn't know anybody there. I quickly made some friends. It's a similar concept to the Golden Gal Network, my meetup event group, but mine is centered around doing activities, and hers is centered around the dinner table. Love both of them. I think they're both great ideas, and Hannah has just done an exquisite job curating these meals. So I went and it was a blast. We did it at the Faulkner Ranch, which is located in Raytown, Missouri. It was this little home style. I personally felt like I was stepping into a Hallmark movie. It had a very country vibe, and it was exactly what the books and the movies describe as the hometown bar, without it actually being a bar, because this is their home. They had their house down the way, they had their animals there, they host weddings and all sorts of events there. And during the holidays they have, it's called Jolly, it's their little restaurant and bar. You can get all these fancy drinks made and just hang out. And so I was talking to one of the girls, and we were talking about where we went to college at, and I was like, oh my gosh, you went to KU, or she said she went to Kansas State. I was like, oh my gosh, I got a vehicle for my birthday. It's this very old pickup. It has a little KU lanyard on it. I've been looking, do you want it? Basically, I was gonna give it to her. And we were all talking, it was so loud, and she's like, KU? She's like, I said, I'm a Jayhawk. And I was like, okay. And she's like, no, those are different schools. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was so embarrassed because I was excited. I was excited to connect, excited to be oh my gosh, you went there? Lots of people went there, whatever. But it was on my mind that we were doing decluttering, and we were, cleaning out the house because of the holidays. And I had been holding this lanyard thinking, what am I going to do with it? Right now it's holding on to the keys, but I could essentially go and get another key, whatever. I was like, oh, I was going to offer it to these, to K-State alum, not KU. Where were they from? Yeah, K-State. I was so confused, so embarrassed. And this just goes to show, I am a socialization girl. I am not a game day girly, okay? I could care less who is playing on the field. This past Sunday, the Chiefs are playing. Everyone wanted to turn on the TV. Great, amazing. I'm all for some background noise. I like the Chiefs, but I'm really there for the party. I'm really there for the socialization. I'm there for the event. I'm there for the energy. That's what I love about any football game. And I was just sitting there, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And in that moment, I had to check myself. I was like, all right, why did we share that? Right? You second guess. As soon as you embarrass yourself, you're like, why did I share that? And I was like, well, I was trying to connect on that's so funny. I was just, trying to declutter my house. And I was like, maybe you want the lanyard. In reality, I was like, did I just want to talk about myself? Was I actually listening to her? And I did, count it up to, I was listening. I just thought that she meant the wrong school. Okay, I don't know my colors very good. Okay, K-State. Oh my gosh, I might mix this up. K-State is the Jayhawks, and it is blue and red. And then KU is purple, I think. Anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I personally, like, I don't know anything about the games, the trades, the anything. And during the season, I always feel almost like a little out of sorts, out of my element, if you will, because I want to know the things, but I feel like my brain already has so much going on. I just cannot add another like thing to it. I guess like trying to remember the players' names, and then of course there's trades and people get injured. I don't know how people play fantasy, and I'm just like, oh gosh, like I feel so dumb during this time, especially as we lead up to the Super Bowl and who's gonna make it and all the things. And I was just like, golly, I have just completely embarrassed myself. Luckily, they were so sweet and understanding, and they explained it to me. I hope that I've regurgitated it properly. I hope that I kept it in check and did all the things. But my peak of the week, and I know we're kind of going out of order and I'm talking about a lot of things, but I do want to follow up with like my peak of the week has been connection. I have had such random spurts of human connection. So I went to Marshall's. I've been shopping a lot, okay? I've been shopping. It's the holiday season. And I've been spending some money, okay? I've been running around. I went to Marshall's, which is the only like department store in our small town. And I needed to pick up a couple things. And so I was loading up my cart, and as I'm making my way to the checkout line, this young boy who was very friendly, he was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, good. It was raining outside. It literally rained all weekend, but I wanted to run into Marshall's before we went to the movie theater because they're right next to each other, and we had about 30 minutes before we went and saw Wonka. And as I'm like trying to, you know, do a little Christmas shopping on the side, I was like putting everything up, and I ended up getting quite a lot. I was like, yes, like I needed all of this. And I'm putting it on the counter, and he asked me, like, he's like, hey, do you have anything fun planned? I was like, actually, you know, we're going to see Wonka. I guess it was opening on Friday. I did not know that. But we went and saw the movie. While we were having this like interaction, and he was very polite, you know, we were talking about all the things, we were laughing. I said, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, well, tomorrow I'm driving to Arkansas and I'm going to be free climbing. How crazy is that? He is going to be free climbing. And I was like, wow, how did you get started in that? Like, that's pretty impressive. I hope the weather is good for you, because it was raining up this time. And he was talking about how nervous he was going to be free climbing, especially like if it was bad weather, or, you know, just free climbing in general. He's not going to have any ropes. And as I left, I was like, man, that was such a good interaction. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. But we just had a conversation, and it was so good. And I was like, wow, like this is what I love. I went to the movies, and I don't know if it was just the energy I was putting out that day or what. And we're buying our tickets to Wonka. We're getting our popcorn. We are getting this is the only time I drink soda. Always, always, always. I'm drinking a root beer at the movie theaters with my popcorn. I love it, and I always want some Twizzlers. Oh my gosh, I said that so weird. Twizzlers. And I always get some Twizzlers. This time, I got the Willy Wonka gummy candy. It like turns your tongue blue or something. I loved it. They were pretty good. But right as we were paying, the gal on the register could not find where the Wonka candy was. So she was like looking, and I was like, you know what, Garrett? You could pay for this. I'm gonna head into the restroom. I had to pee so bad from, you know, we ate before I went to Marshall's, and then after Marshall's we were going to the movies. I was like, if I don't go now, I will have to go in the middle of the movie, and I will not be missing the movie. So I go into the restroom, and as I like open my stall up, I'm about to go wash my hands, there was a nice little woman there, and she looked at me, I looked at her, I give her a polite smile as I'm like going to wash my hands, and she's like, did you see Wonka? I was like, no, I haven't. We're just about to go in. She's like, well, it was so creative. I just loved it. I think you're going to love it. I was like, wow, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy your evening. I was like, what the heck? Another like little connection. Like that was so amazing. Like I love to connect with people and have these random interactions because I feel like we don't have them enough. Like we are on our phone or we go to work. Like we are not talking to people as much as we talk to people in earlier times, right? Like when we didn't have cell phones or social media that we are absolutely glued to. A couple days before this, it was too late in the day for a coffee. I wanted something. I needed something. And so I went to Scooters and I was like, I am going to get a chai latte. And I'm pretty sure I had a gingerbread chai latte at Scooters. I think I had a fever dream because I go to Scooters and I was like, hey, do you guys have any like gingerbread syrup or anything back there? And they're like, no, sorry, we don't. And the gal was so sweet. She was like, we don't have that, but what I can do for you is I can do the chai latte with our white mocha. And she said something else. It was like 2 different syrups. And she's like, and I can mix that for you. And it does taste like very, like cinnamon cookie style. And I was like, that sounds perfect. And so when I went up, because I'm kicking myself, I swear, I embarrassed myself in the most ridiculous ways. Here, I'm like trying to convince her. I was like, hey, I think I have like a gingerbread syrup latte here. And she's like, no, we've never had that. And I was like, I'm an idiot. Like I don't know. And so I went up to the window and she was like, I hope that you like this. If you don't, like, we can make you something else. I was like, I promise you, like, even if I thought this was disgusting, I would still drink it. Like, that's just me. Like, I would never be like, oh, this actually didn't taste good. Can I get something else? I will drink anything. Like, I will chug it down. That is my people-pleasing tendency that I have. I'm like, no, thank you. But she was so kind, so sweet, and she was like chatting me up. She's like, I tried this the other day, and I just thought it was so good. I was like, I love the recommendation, my girl. Like, I absolutely will take this. I took my little drink. It was good. It was so good. I don't know if it was the sugar of all of the syrups, or if it was like the actual chai tea, like giving me a little kick and a go, but I had some energy that afternoon. I was like, we are gonna get some work done because I got a lot of prep. But there was 3 random interactions that I had. Just talking to people is so good for my heart and soul. It is something that I just love to do. I love it when people talk to me about their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, when I can connect to them on a deeper level than just like, hey, how's the weather? Although I love to talk about the weather. I love to just like say how I feel. And I feel like the weather is definitely, conjoined with my mood. So I love to talk about all of the things with all the random people. But I have had so many things come in alignment for myself. I went to a bar yoga class this past week. I love bar. And she said something, and I don't know why, but she said something about attitude. And I personally have not used the word attitude in so long, right? Like, this is not the 2000s. This is not 2010. I feel like it was so big on the runways. It was like, give me attitude, give me, brattiness, because brats were in, like, being attitude, like giving some sort of way was so good. And before this class, I had this like memory of being at church camp, and one of my bunkmates, I don't know her name, and we went to Riverside in Iowa, and this summer we had the word attitude like stuck in our head. We were like, give me attitude, or like being these like bratty girls, but we were at church camp. Okay, like literally at church camp. And it wasn't so much of like being naughty, it was just like giving face, like being a brat, but not a brat. You know what I mean? Like just being the it girl. That's what we were using the attitude as. And I don't know, I was just like laying in bed, thinking about things, and that memory popped up. Then I went into bar class and she said something about attitude. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, I have not used this word in so long. And I had this memory pop up of this girl and me, like, and I remember not being able to spell attitude and thinking it was just a really wonky word for how like sexy it was. Like attitude, like giving attitude is such like a it girl thing, especially when you are a preteen. Like I was 12, 13. And like that is such like a cute, like you want to be a brat, like Paris Hilton, like just that it girl vibe, right? And I remember like trying to write it and spell it and thinking, oh my gosh, this word is kind of ugly for like the energy it gives. And so I had that entire memory. And then during class, the instructor said something about attitude. I was like, okay, like that's, that's a 1 and 2 kind of thing. And then I was watching the Kardashians and Kim, and maybe it was just, I think it was just Kris Jenner said something about attitude in the series, and I was like, hold up. And maybe it was just because I was like more in tune to the word because I'd been thinking about it. And whatever you bring to awareness in your mind, you'll then be super hyper aware of it, right? Like whenever you think, oh, like I'm gonna look for a red car, we see more red cars in comparison to green cars. Like when you're looking for the red cars, you never see the green cars or the silver cars or whatever. And so maybe it's me being hyper aware of the word attitude, but I was like, man, like that's like super, that's not double whammy, that is triple whammy of 3 different situations that I am thinking about attitude. So I don't know what exactly is in store for me in regards to attitude, but I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna be even more aware of the attitude. And sometimes with things in our life, we don't know when all the puzzle pieces are gonna come together. We don't know when things are gonna click. Personally, I don't know when attitude will come and I'll be like, oh, that's why. Like, or this came into alignment. Like I already know these 3 things are in alignment, and maybe the whole point of me like being aware of it is, hey, like I'm in the right spot at the right time. If I have like this thing aligned, that usually means you're on the right track. And so I like to see and think of these alignments as like little winks from God, of okay, like you're doing the right thing. You're on the right track. You're where you're supposed to be. But we don't always know exactly when things are going to line up. I feel it's like a Tetris, but you're not in control of the pieces. And whenever the Tetris makes like a solid line and falls, then you're like, oh, like those pieces fell together. So it's like playing a game of Tetris, but you're not in control of the pieces, and all the pieces are the wrong shape and none of the colors match up, and also you're underwater in the ocean and trying to figure it all out blindfolded, right? Like you cannot predict when the line is going to fall of Tetris. You cannot predict when you're going to get a new block in Tetris. And the same for your life. You do not know when things are going to come into your life. You don't know when things are going to move out of your life, right? Like the same way that we expect things and we are welcoming the positive changes in our life, we also don't know what those changes will bring and how it will push other things out of our life. So that's what makes life fun. That's what makes it amazing to just hang out with and like see. This past week, I went to bed, and when I woke up, I hopped onto Instagram. This was one of the days where I did not wait my 2 hours after I woke up. This was a day I immediately grabbed my phone and, tried to bring myself awake. Okay? We all have those days. Nobody is perfect. And as I logged onto Instagram, I realized my Instagram had updated. I don't know, it was an automatic update, and it was probably because my phone was finally connected to the battery. Very often, I will not charge my phone at night. It is a bad habit, but I feel when I'm driving to my workout class, it's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. that is an hour charging for my phone, and that is just enough. If it dies or, gets a little low, I plug it in during the day and it is fine. So this was probably a night that I actually had my phone on the charger and it had a complete charge because it updated, and usually it does updates when it's connected to power at night. And so I woke up and I was like, I guess my phone was connected to power. I didn't even know they were doing an Instagram update. Why does the lettering look weird, right? And I was just thinking to myself, how many people knew there was an update coming, right? But how many people didn't know there was an update coming? Or how many people saw that their friends updated and they were looking at their phone and thinking, oh my gosh, your phone updated? Why didn't my phone update? And they could check their app and it might not be available to them yet. I know that like for the broadcast channel, because I do a broadcast channel for my Instagram and for the Golden Gal Network, it is where I send like a daily text. I try to do daily. Sometimes it's every other day, but that's just because inspiration is not striking, right? Like I want to give you the fresh information, and if I don't have anything nice or good to say, I'm not going to type something in there. So I do like these little daily piffs of inspiration and entertainment, to be honest. And as I was like wanting a broadcast channel, because I had joined Mel Robbins' broadcast channel, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Mel has this really amazing feature on her Instagram. Why don't I have this feature on my Instagram? And I just chalked it up to Mel Robbins is amazing and super like influential and popular and has multiple books. Like, of course she has this feature. She has a wide audience. Like, they're going to be able to see if it hits, if it's something that she uses, if it is something that the consumer wants to use. So of course that she would get that update before I did, or that certain feature. I didn't get the opportunity to have the broadcast channel until September. And I was just thinking, this update is kind of like the broadcast channel. Like, I didn't know I'd be granted the opportunity to do the broadcast channel, but I know that I had the broadcast channel before other people had the broadcast channel. And they would text me and they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. How did you get started? And I was like, it gave me the option. I don't know. When opportunity comes knocking, I jump on it. Okay, I'm always taking it. It said, start a broadcast. I said, you bet your ass I will be starting a broadcast. So I got it before other people, but many people got it before I got it. And this goes hand in hand when the pieces are going to fall in your life, when things are going to finally come together, when you have the Tetris blocks all lined up. You never know when that's going to happen. You never know when someone is going to grant the piece of the puzzle that you've been looking for. But I know personally for myself, I've been kind of like in this transitional waiting period. And I think life is better when you are constantly pivoting, changing, and growing. And so I don't mind being in this transitional pivot period that I've been in, but I know that I'm having pieces finally click and lock into place. I know that things are coming to me easier than they did not come to me, right? Because I was waiting for them. It didn't come as easy as it did months ago, right? Like I was striving for an answer. I was looking for something. And it wasn't until recently or last month or whenever that finally clicked for me. I had a bit of a waiting period. I was like, when is this going to click into place for me? When am I going to realize why these things keep coming up? When am I going to know when things come into alignment? And you cannot forecast the future. You will never know until it's there, right? Like you won't know until it arrives. And that's why the present is a gift and the future is something you look forward to, right? Like the present is a gift, you have received it. In comparison to the future, you don't know what's going to happen and you don't know what is coming to you. So looking at my year in retrospect, I'm like, okay, I took the hard way sometimes, okay? Instead of being like, we're going to take the easy way, we took the hard way and we went a full circle, and I had to hit a couple points, okay? Maybe it wasn't a circle. We're gonna imagine it as a star. I had to hit some of those points on the star to get to the point where I'm at now, right? Like, it did come full circle, but I had to learn some lessons. I had to flex my commitment bone. I had to flex my commitment muscle. I had to see, hey, is this actually going to work for me? Can I be doing this every day? Am I going to have the repetition? Will I put the work in? And it's almost like this testing factor between God, the universe, and me, right? Like, does she actually want this? Will she stay committed? Or is this something I'm dreaming of, and quote unquote dreaming, not putting into reality, not actually putting the work in? Is this something that I just think I will like? Is this just something that sounds good, but isn't necessarily the end goal, right? There are so many things that I might romanticize, but I actually don't want to marry, right? Like, I might think it sounds so cool in my brain, but in reality, I probably don't want to do it. And in years past, I've said that I want to climb Kilimanjaro. I forget what it was. Maybe I read a book or listened to a podcast. Someone climbed Kilimanjaro. I was like, that is something I want to do. The more I think about it, the more I think, I actually hate not having modern technology. I love to be connected. I hate not going multiple days without a shower, okay? I don't like that. And so it might sound great in my brain. I might want the bragging rights, but will I actually do it? Probably not. I'm not going to stay committed. So things have not been lining up to climb Kilimanjaro. But the other things that I am putting in the effort in and putting in the work in, I'm not sure when they're going to pay off. Nobody knows when any of our dreams are actually going to take off or gain some substance. But I do know that nothing that is ever done or experienced is wasted. Everything that you go through, it's like collecting little trinkets along the way, right? You have to hit all the points in the star to get full circle. I know circle doesn't have any points, but to get full circle, to collect all the collections, right? To collect all the points, to collect all the, like Dora the Explorer, we're gonna need that. We're gonna need the hammer. We're gonna need the saw. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, they're like, we'll use this for later. I'm like, okay, yeah, we will. So nothing is wasted. And I know that things are slowly clicking into place. And maybe you're in the same boat as me. Maybe you're in a transitional stage in your life and you are waiting for the new year. You're waiting for December to get over so that you can get on new year, new me, right? Like, I love New Year's. New Year's is my Super Bowl. I just told you, I am not a game day girly. I am a social girly, okay? The Super Bowl, my Super Bowl is January 1st, okay? I love the start of the new year. I love a clean slate. But even when that clean slate comes, things still might not click into place. Things might not get to where they need to be, move in position, or, find those Tetris pieces until March or January. Maybe January is your month. I meant to say July though. Maybe it's March, maybe it's July, maybe it's next September, maybe it is next December. We never know when we are going to get our Instagram update. We never know why we are meeting the people we're meeting, right? Like, I could have met that girl at Scooters and she might play a huge role in my life in a month from now. The boy that I met at Marshall's might be someone I connect back with in a year. The woman I met at the movie theater, who knows? Who knows why people have been put in her life, why the puzzle pieces are fitting like they are, or why the word attitude keeps coming up. We'll never know when everything will update, but when it does, it comes perfectly clear. Trust me on that. So thank you for listening. I hope that things are coming into alignment for you. If they aren't, that's fine. Clarity is coming soon. I promise you, clarity is coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Give me a rating. I would sure appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!